Hey guys, ILene Vick here for Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. It is Saturday, April 3rd at 7 p.m. and I am here to do some fun coloring. Alright, so come on in. Good to see everybody. Let's see what we got here. I hope everybody's having a good Saturday. I actually am. I'm having a great Saturday. Woo, getting some things squared away here. Hey Julie, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Oh, let's see what kind of trouble we can get into tonight. I just need to adjust one more thing. There we go. Hello to everybody else that's coming in. Oh, you're having an awesome Saturday. Cool. What's going on, sweetie? Zoom in. Zoom out. There we go. Okay. And again, my studio looks like it blew up. I'm in the process of moving a bunch of things around. That'll teach me. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that, Lila. Lila, Delilah. Oh, my. Can tell what kind of mood I'm in. All right. Let me see if I can actually get some of this stuff straightened away. This is driving me crazy. Ruth sent us so many terrific books. I can't decide which one I want to go through. There we go. Richard dug out of my sand finally. I'm sorry, I'm lost on what's going on in here. Okay. So let's get everybody in here. Oh, Lila, thank you. Thank you for doing that. And I, of course, did. Listen, I so appreciate it when you guys thank the people that are blessing our group. That is absolutely wonderful. Oh, he got your colored sand out for you. I gotcha. I gotcha. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at a few of these things and then we'll get some coloring on. Let me get my coloring on. But first we need to do our little calendar. What's our next event coming up? Somebody tell me. Okay. Okay. All right, so this is from Jillian's book. The, let's see where I am. Jeff the Catman on April 6th, that's right. Okay, so this is from Mercurial Mandalas by the Coloring Hive. And Lila says she's actually starting to warm up to mandalas. I get it, Lila. I know, I'm the same way with them. You know, but when I saw this, I thought, ooh, I could really run with that drawing. So I did. All right, Mercurial Mandalas. So I went ahead and I added, as you know, these extra doohickeys on them. I call them doohickeys. And that was inspired by a book that we got from Virginia Dare, and that's the 50 Ways to Draw Your Beautiful Ordinary Life. Highly recommended book, guys. So I was looking at some doodads here. Yeah, I know, I get it about the mandalas. So these are little doodads that you can put on here. And here are some lead-throughs on how to draw some other patterns. So this is a really terrific book, guys. Recommended. If you don't have any drawing experience at all, this is a good book. I went through it that one day. You saw me do a radish. I mean, look. Yeah, doodads, doodles. Zoom in. Zoom in. Here's a thingy on how to put a lamp together and draw it. Not hard. And you do it in light pencil, you'll be in good shape. Okay. So that's what I did with this. Zoom out. And what I decided to do, I'm going to do the leaves on both ends because these are across from each other. So I'm going to put some leaves on her. And I did the little swirlies on this one, and we'll do it on this one. I was going to go with two other different patterns to represent the two other different ladies, but it was too much. Yeah, that lampshade could be a skirt for a girl. Exactly. Okay, so, and I colored this in black, and I put my little pearl drops on these, liquid pearls, so you can see how this one's shaping up. All right, and then as we talked about, we've got Jeff coming in. We're going to finish up this little guy, and as I've said, I'm so proud of you guys for the ones that I've been seeing you put together. Beautiful pieces, guys, beautiful. You're doing a wonderful, wonderful job. I can see improvement in everybody's work. To those of you, for those of you who are learning, that's great. Okay, so let's take a quick look at this Ruth Sanderson book. Let me get that open here. Look at that little colt. Absolutely beautiful. Now, I will remind you that Ruth Sanderson is a huge horse person. She loves drawing them, just absolutely loves them. So she's got a little thing in here, horse coloring tips. I'm going to move this over, zoom in, zoom in. I want to show you this. If you want to go ahead and take a picture of that. So the horse coloring tips, look for some color photos of horses to study all the different color possibilities. I suggest choosing at least 4 pencils from light to dark that would create a desired coat color. Suggestions for the cover image of this blood red bay. That's what this is, what they're called. And this is light peach, mineral orange, pumpkin orange, chestnut, and chestnut. And then there's a video demonstration of coloring this particular image. And you can visit her YouTube channel. Yeah, it's the, Rita, it's the symbolism of mandalas that some people are uncomfortable with. Zoom out. So if you get this book, there is a tutorial on YouTube showing how to color this particular horse. So that would help you. So I'm going to do a really quick flip through on here. Absolutely beautiful pieces. Look at that. I mean, Ruth has these horses just done beautifully. Now, remember how I was using the chalks last night on the ferry? Here's one of those things you could do with this. Some nice background, blue, whatever. Get the highlights on here with a narrow coloring here. Yeah, mandalas have actually a satanic origin, and that's why some people are very uncomfortable with them. But I look at them and I'm okay with it because of the pattern. All right, so look at these horses. So totally up to you guys, of course, on the mandalas. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? And look at this. This would be drop dead gorgeous to do up. And again, I showed you with the chalks last night on the ferries. So I'm just going to do a really quick page through on this because I want you to see this. I will add it to our affiliate list when the live is over, excuse me. Look at that. And the way that Ruth captures the animals is just uncomparable. So beautiful, beautiful horses to do. I like the grayscale on this. I think it's balanced well. It's not too light. It's not too dark. Yeah, they could be colored and framed for a horse lover. Exactly. So I wanted you guys to see this. Oh man, look at, oh. Wow. Let me break here. Let me do this. There we go. Okay. Yeah, we got it, Maddie. No problem. I mean, look at that. The shadow of the horse over the little baby. And all you'd have to do this is when you pick your colors, I can see, let's see, light, medium, dark in here to do the wood. And then you go ahead and do a comparable color with, you know, darker shades of it with the shadow. Love it. Oh, Stephanie, that's great. And actually, you know, that's one of the reasons why I'm not too concerned about mandalas, because a lot of people will color eggs with kids, and if you look back on that history, that has a pagan history as well. So, you know, you can go back and forth here. With some of Ruth's horse drawings, you can see the soul of the horse. Yeah. You should send her a text and tell her that, a DM and tell her that. Okay. And that is Vicky saying hello. All right. Oh, yes, she had, you know, Maddie, she does. Over the years, they were brought up with horses. Her daughter, Whitney, was brought up with horses. Vicky says, thank you, Lila. Look at that. So I thought you'd enjoy this. Oh, man, yeah. And you know that I like images with movement in them that say something. Those are my most favorite. Sound check, by the way. I mean, Ruth is just so prolific. Oh, there you go, Rebecca. Yeah. You worked in a barn all through high school to pay for your riding lessons. Okay. Memories. Isn't that beautiful? Yes, Jillian does ride. Isn't that beautiful? Hi, Julie. And hello to everybody that popped in while I was distracted. Love you guys. Hello to everybody that is watching from the balcony. So glad you can join us to watch this. Feel free to pop on down anytime. With questions or comments. Share button is still missing. Phew. Lila, have you rebooted your Facebook? Beautiful. Okay. Just asking. I figured you had, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Oh my gosh, look at that. Yeah, Julie shared it to the group, so you can go ahead and copy that, of course, and then paste it into your timeline. So thank you, Julie. You know, again, and this is why I really love you guys, is you are so proactive in helping each other. You walk the talk. Look at that one. Oh, Kristen. I am so sorry. Kristen, can I say a prayer for you? A prayer for you? Hold on, guys. I'm going to ask you just to suspend commenting for a minute. Kristen, can I pray for you? And what was your cousin's name? Kristen needs your prayers. Okay, what was your cousin's name? I will pray, Kristen. What was your cousin's name? Go ahead and let us know, and I'm going to start praying. Lord God, in the holy name of Jesus Christ, we ask for comfort for Kristen Warner and her family. Lord God, her cousin Joey was found deceased today, and we ask you to scoop Joey up in your arms and bring her into your love. Lord God, Kristen tells me that she has 2 children. Lord God, help those children. They're going through some very bad trauma right now. Lord God, we ask for peace with the Warner family. Help them as you know your ways to help. Let them turn to you and find comfort in you in this very difficult time. Lord God, we also ask peace for Kristen. She came into this group today and asked for prayers, and we will never ever turn down a prayer for someone who requests it, because that's what we do. Lord God, in their sorrow, let them find joy in knowing that Joey is in your arms. Let them remember her the way she should be remembered. Lord God, thank you so much for listening. In the holy name of Jesus, amen. Sorry for the loss, Kristen. You gonna be okay? I'm glad you came in and told us so that we could share this with you, this prayer with you. And thank you for all of those that are praying along with us. Yeah, Kristen, we do. We surround you with love and prayers. And Kristen, if you just want to hang with us for a while to get your mind off of things and find some peace, you're welcome to do that. You don't even have to say anything today. But thank you for telling us. All right. Yeah, of course you're sad. Of course you're sad. Don't stuff your feelings, sweetie. That's why we have the strength of God in our souls to help us through these things. Okay. So this is the next picture that Ruth has in her book. You're welcome, Kristen. We love you too. You know that we're all here for each other. Hi, Helen. Okay, so now we've got this image. And I really love that Ruth has gone ahead and included men in her pictures. You don't see that very often. Zoom in. And again, there is a lot of opportunity here to come in with some beautiful colors on this. Look how neat that is. Isn't that beautiful? And you know what? If you have something that's not 100% clear, then just work it through. Zoom in. It took me a second to realize that these two dabbles right here was a woman, that's her arms clapping. And then we've got people in the background that are also little indications of clapping. Beautiful stuff, guys. Beautiful stuff. Zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom out. Yeah, Kristen, talk to Lila. Reach out to her if you need to talk. Isn't that beautiful, guys? And again, I really enjoy going through Helen's books because just for the art, it's just so beautiful. All right, so let me go ahead and date this. Well, that's a surprise right now, Helen. Yeah, Kristen, feel free to talk to Lila. Seriously. There we go. All right. So let's see what kind of trouble we can get into tonight. I'm almost done with Santa. Yeah, Kristen, talk to Melba as well. You're getting all sorts of offers here that you can talk to people. Well, Kristen, you know what? Chaplains need someone to turn to as well. Sometimes just to talk and get it off their chest. All right, this is a beautiful, beautiful book. I've been showing this to you. It's the Night Before Christmas. Zoom out. And I highly recommend this book by Charles Santore. This is line art. Gorgeous book. And you know that I'll be moving around to different things. I like to do that. Yeah, Sandra did a really good job on her last colored page. That was beautiful. All right, we don't have very much to go on this at all to finish this. So I will definitely be moving off of this tonight. Any questions about how I did the Santa and how I made it look like he has lots of white with him? I showed you that little trick. I showed you how to make these shadows lighter. We had a problem with the tail. Well, Sandra, we've missed you. UK Sandra, we've missed you. Here's Canada Sandra. Oh, Canada. All right, so let's go ahead now, and I want to work on this mantelpiece. Yeah, you got to quit doing that to us, Sandra, disappearing like that. Okay, so the tricky part of this is we've got a lot of grays going on here. And I am somewhat inclined. Let's see here. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do on that little mantle part. When I did this before, I went ahead and, as you can see, this darker line here, that's the original that the author had in. And then I went ahead and extended the line because the author hadn't. So I'm going to, and I can't emphasize that enough, guys, you need to get comfortable in your skin to do stuff like that. It will make your pictures look so much better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out my little handy dandy protractor. And finish putting these lines in dark. And, oh, I know, I was going to show you something else too. Excuse my hand. It's handy and it's dandy. That's right. That is right. So a simple tool, you get out your protractor. And sometimes what I'll do, guys, if I feel, you know, you can go ahead and just draw a straight line in. And if you're not comfortable with that, of course, use your protractor. Zoom in. Zoom in. All right. Oh, the protractors are wonderful, guys. Pick them up at the dollar store. I absolutely want to get you into the habit of adding to your pages. And you either do that on a corrective basis, meaning you fix something that the author initially had put in and you want to change it, or to correct something, to literally correct a line. And actually, I'm going to also, I'm not sure I'll do it tonight, but I'm going to show you how to get rid of black lines in your coloring books. All right, so I'm thinking, you see how this is open right here and it's not really clear what it is? Is it a rug? Is it Santa's shadow? You know, who knows? So I'm going to go ahead and extend this line just a little bit. And I'm going to complete that bottom piece. And that way we have closure on this. And even though I've got a little bit of a line of a little shadow around here, so what? I will incorporate that when I color. All right. So I want to go ahead and finish up on this side now. This wood mantle or whatever it is. Now, I don't want you to get fussy here. Hey, Melissa. Welcome. And remember now I'm going ahead and putting down my base color. And then we can go ahead and figure out where we're shading. Now, when I was doing this earlier, zoom out, zoom out. If you wanted to go ahead and, you know, shade this brown and shade this brown, and then that whole thing gives you perspective. And if you didn't see this from the beginning, I drew in all this brick and this brick, and I put the fire in the fireplace. And I added this whole mantle area. And if these things hadn't been put in there, I don't think it would make it as look as terrific as it could be. And this is why. Thanks for my package. You got it yesterday but forgot to check your mail this morning. Okay. So you got 2 coloring books and the pens, right? Oops. I just gave it away. Just listening, we combine celebrating Easter and vaccinations by barbecuing with your in-laws. Good. Hey, Melissa, take a second and go check your mail. Go. All right, so see, guys, again, tinting, right? Ever since you guys have been in this room, tinting, tinting. That's why we do this. Oh, you are using your pens tonight. Okay, so you already knew that. All right. So, Sandra Shelley, what have you been up to? All right. So now I'm going to color in between here. Zoom in. Yeah, I know that you weren't excited about the country book. Just give it away. But I thought you could use those Ranger pens. And then I'm going to go ahead and darken, just like I did the other side. And again, I want you to notice that this bottom part here doesn't matter that you've got that little thing, because we didn't know what this was. And this is where you edit your pages to make them yours, to make them make sense to you. And this is why I enjoy doing pages like this, because then I can show you all of this. Were you surprised when you got the pens, Melissa? And again, if you had been starting this piece and hadn't done anything else, and you wanted to go ahead and do this wood first, That's great. Hi, Mary. Well, and I figured this way too, Melissa, if you already had a bunch of pens, you could give them away as well. Now you know how it feels to get things in the mail, just like what you've been sending. Ah, there you go. I got you, Sandra. Yeah, and you didn't feel like getting up in the middle of the morning for coming into group. Certainly understandable. But so delighted to have you back. Okay. Now, remember what I told you too about going over your lines and the color that you're coloring so that it picks up the colors of your overall piece. So you want these lines brown instead of black. And I'll remind you, for you guys that are watching, it's not what I'm coloring, but it's how I'm coloring that you should be interested in. Zoom out. Oh man, look how cool that looks. I love it when a picture comes together. Oh, I'm so glad you caught up on your sleeping. That's great. Oh, having fun catching up with a group. Okay, I gotcha. All right. So now what I'm going to do, we've got this wall that I made a light blue. So don't forget, we've got a layer, we've got Krylon as pre-spray. And then I've got a layer of colored pencil. And now I'm going to go through with my water-based markers. And just smudge up some areas on this wall. So notice now that I'm putting that halo effect of this blue around my main pieces here. And oh, wonderful, Melissa. You're using the gel pens with the, yeah. Gel pens mixed with pencil, yeah. So because the author was ambiguous in what all this is meant to be, I'm going to just go ahead and shade where these lines are. And guys, this is something that you can't fuss over. And I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of marks on the wall or whatever this is. Zoom in. Zoom in. Maddie, these were the prizes that Melissa got and Sherry got. Sherry got the pens, the Arteza pens, and Melissa got the book. And I sent her an extra book and a set of Sargent gel pens. And now, again, guys, don't fuss over what you can't identify, okay? And now I'm going to go in between these ribbons here that I colored in and this shadow. And add a little bit of extra color. No, this was the contest. Oh my gosh. Which one was it? Unfortunately, I was delayed in getting the stuff out. It was one of Dawn's contests, I believe. All right, everybody see how I'm adding that blue tinting with the marker? And also how I went ahead and added these streaks just for visual interest. And you saw now that Jillian has posted her contest, right? Everybody see that? Post your finished pieces in the files. Yeah, it was one of Dawn's contests. I'm so embarrassed. That's how long it was. Now, if you're putting down this color, there are some times that you just want to pat it with your finger. Don't smear it, just pat it. And that gives you a slightly different effect. This is an Ohuhu marker. and it's water-based. Okay, Kristen, I hope it isn't going to be too long. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. I'm so glad you stopped by. Thank you for letting us pray over you. Zoom out. Okay, see the look now that we've got? Now, I can't say this again. Let me back up. I can't say this enough. That's what I meant. When we started this piece, it looked a little wonky. And you color and you color and you color and you think, oh my gosh, it's ugly. It's not going to come out. I'm getting sick and tired of it. But the thing is, look what a beautiful piece we're getting. Zoom in. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of blue streak to the drum. I had put on gray. That drum was bugging me. And I'm also going to color in around it a little bit. So now we've got that looking a little better. Okay. So the last two pieces I'm going to do, let me go ahead and, well, three actually. I'm going to go ahead and put, what am I going to put? Let's see. I'm going to make this carpet on here a very light pink color. And what I want you to notice here is I'm going to take this pink and I'm going to go right over this shadow very lightly. I probably should have gotten out some of my gelatos to do this as well. Or my chalks even. Too many choices. And I'm going to go ahead and like I said, I'm going to color a light pink over the shadow. And I'm not going to worry too much about blending this in. It's got that little popcorn effect. You know how we get that when pencil doesn't go into paper all the way? But because it's supposed to be carpet, and again, for the life of me, you know, this little piece here, and I want you to think of grayscale while I'm going over this gray with the pink. because it tints the gray, just like we do when we're doing grayscale. And I'm just going to make a little slightly darker pink by the shoe, just because we're showing a little bit of that shadow. And again, if anybody has any questions, I'm going to put a little darker gray inside this buckle because that looks wonky on the one shoe where I have it here. So I'm going to go ahead and shade that up a little bit more than I originally did because it just looked wonky. Don't be afraid of your books. Don't be afraid to change something. And I am 99% sure that Charles Santore, who wrote this or illustrated this book, did not hand color with pencil his own piece. And I want you guys to keep that in mind. Oops, got a little gray. All right. And even though the shadow of the cat's going to the right, I'm still going to tint a little more underneath him. And I'm going to tint a little more right next to this gray mantle area. Zoom out. All right, anybody have any questions about anything I'm doing? Don't hesitate to ask. Okay. La-da-da. I'm really happy with this piece. It's coming out. Oh, I see an area where I didn't tint my wall. And again, if you look at your piece in a monitor or on your smartphone, take a picture of it. That's where you'll see stuff that needs to be potentially corrected. Okay. So on this mantle, I'm going to go ahead and lay a base color of blue. Rebecca says her studio space has been taken over by seed potatoes, onion sets, and Easter eggs. Okay. Zoom in. Oh, no problems, Rebecca. That's funny. Rebecca says she'd be in real trouble if she could grow milk chocolate. Yeah. Zoom out. Hi, Katie. All right. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of gray. Katie just got back from Lila's favorite place. I'm going to take a little bit of gray marker. And on the seams of the, gotcha, Amazon. Oh my, yeah. I'm taking my gray and putting it on either side of the lines, and then I'm going to smudge it. And I'm putting a little bit in the middle as well. And again, don't forget, when you're smudging your markers, you have to do it instantaneously to putting it down on the paper. Sound check, please. And as I'm going over this, you can see that I'm going ahead and smudging the corners. Zoom in. Zoom in. And adding that gray on top of the blue. And then I'm going to be doing that all the way through. Got to use my indoor voice. Is my voice nice and clear as well? Now, don't be afraid here on the smudging of this blue. This is where we're going to add our shadows. And you want to smush that gray on there. Zoom out. Excuse me. Okay. Thank you for the check, ladies. Now, the neat thing about doing this with the gray is because we're near the fireplace and it's going to be probably kind of dingy with years of burning burning fireplaces in it, fires in it. And again, I can't emphasize enough here, right away, smudge. Put it down, smudge. Zoom out. Now, if you put down streaks and you feel that that's a little bit too streaky with the marker, then what you want to do now is take a gray pencil and go over that gray and blue and basically blend it together. Now, remember when I took out that duplicate shadow on the cat's tail? It looks much better. And then I'm going to use my narrowest pen. Zoom in. Zoom in. And go in a little bit. Now, I'm going to smudge this pen as I'm doing this because I don't want it to be a stark line. And that's another thing I want you to think about when you're using pen, is you can do the same technique that you are with your marker, that you put a little on your line and then smudge it right away. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to incorporate a little bit of gray, I want you to watch this, into the cat's tail. See how I'm making these stripes? So I'm compensating for the fact that the author made the lines on the cat so bold. by making it look like now that that gray is in effect part of the pattern. Does that make sense? And you can go ahead and do that. I don't think I've shown you how to smudge pen before. So what I'm doing is I'm re-energizing the lines that the author put in, but then I'm going ahead and I'm immediately smudging it with my finger. And if I can find my gray pencil, that's green. Unbelievable. I just used that gray and it has disappeared. You guys ever have that happen that you're coloring and you're using a color and it like, you lay the pencil down, it like disappears? Okay, and now I'm going to pull a little bit of gray into the cat, just to balance that out. Yeah, the pencils walk away. I'm sure they do, Lila. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind. Now, this cat was not looking as dimensional as I wanted. It just looked dull. So that's why I'm going ahead and playing around with this pen, smudging, and the pencil. Now, if only we could get them to mate with each other and create more pencils, wouldn't that be great? All right, let's get that in focus for you. And because I'm introducing all this gray into the cat, I'm going to go ahead and start putting gray designs on him so that we get that balanced out as well. And then I'm going to add a little bit of shadow underneath him to make him look like he's got, oh yeah, the pencils mating and all the new colors, yeah. So now I'm just playing with the gray here to give this cat a bunch of dimension. Let me grab a little water here. And then down this one leg, I'm just going to make that, I don't have any brown in there, I'm just going to go ahead and add some gray shading here with a little bit of highlighted darker gray. Zoom out. Much better. Cats are fun to do because the colors can be so unpredictable. If I put green next to the gray, if I put green, excuse me, next to the red, it will make an interesting gray. Yeah. Okay. Zoom out. I really love how perky the ears are on this cat. It's so representative of how a cat would look when they're looking at something that fascinates them. If you put a blue next to a yellow, it will make a baby green. Oh, Maddie's on a roll. Okay. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do with this part here, we've got a gold sock up here at the top. And so I'm going to zoom in, zoom in. I'm just going to go ahead and make this gold. I still haven't decided what it is, but I'm going to make, hi Melba. I'm just going to make it look really good. Melba, when did you sneak in? And of course, I'm going to go over my lines now with my gold to mute that color. La, da, da, da. Oh, that's good. I'm glad that you were listening while you were washing dishes. Or as you cooked. That's cool. All right. Zoom out. Zoom out. Look at that. Now, I'm not thrilled at all with those socks. So I'm going to revisit those real quick, and then I'm going to call this done. Zoom in. So this gold one isn't so bad. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I can make, yeah, black gloves maybe. Yeah, I'll revisit that. Let me get these socks taken care of. So I'm taking a simple gold on this one, and of course I'm obliterating these lines as much as I can. Which reminds me, I'm going to do a little tutorial when I'm done. You've only seen his gloves as green or blue. Somebody do a search on Google and ask the question, what color are the gloves of Santa? Or I can do that. Because now I'm curious. I am curious. Okay, well, we've got some green here on this picture, and white, and black. Let's see. Those are white. Those are green. I don't know. I may make them green. Gold, green, or red. No black. Ooh, I have an idea. Okay, let me take care of these socks. Okay, that looks better. So I'm going to pop that. That's better. And I don't know what I was thinking when I made those patches pink on this first sock. We need to fix that. Oh, wait a minute. I know what I'm going to do. Ha! I know what I'm going to do. Yeah, you're right about the red, Katie. Coca-Cola made them red to brand it. Okay, so that pen's not working well. Zoom in. Da, 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 da. Now, if you have a marker that's streaking like this, I think my marker's dying. Well, I'll get some new ones. Da-da-dum. Zoom in. Da-da-dum. I hope you can hear that music, otherwise you're going to think I'm being really weird at the moment. Da-da-da-da-dum. Da-da-da-dum. Yeah, it is. The pencil and the marker's too greasy. That's all right. We'll make it work. I'll let that dry and then put another batch on there, or I just smear it like that and it works. Okay. Hey, weird but nice, Sandra. Oh, there we go. It was the marker. This is working beautifully. There we go. Well, got to get some more Sharpies. Good night, Rebecca. Good night, Rebecca. Good night, Rebecca. Good night, Rebecca. Happy Easter to you and your family. For those of you that celebrate Easter. There we go. Zoom out. Zoom out. Okay, and you know what? Zoom in. Zoom in. I'm going to color this in black as well. I am not happy with these socks the way they were. Da-dum. Oh, much better. Okay. Much, much better. La da 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 dum. La da 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 dum. Dee, 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 dee. Oh, I feel so much better about these stupid socks. There we go. Zoom out. Isn't that a lot better, guys? Crikey. That's my word, crikey. And then I'm going to carry a little bit of black over to the third sock. Much better. Oh, Melba's right. Socks become stockings. Yep. Hung by the, and the stockings were hung by the fireplace with care. Is that on the back of this? No, a bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. Zoom out. Oh, those look much better. Good grief. The toe on the second one, oh, down here, it's supposed to be gray. And here, yeah, I was debating making that black. Okay, I'll make it black. Zoom in. Your dad wears a size 12 in your of socks, so your family made out good. One year when Mark and I were together, I put some candy by a fireplace that we had. And I mean, I'm not stupid. I figured it would be far enough away that there wouldn't be any problem. Well, I was wrong. It melted it. Zoom in. Okay, got the toe. Zoom out. Yeah, that looks better, Sandra, thanks. Zoom out. Okay. Last but not least, let's get some gloves done here. La-da-dum. La-da-dum. Da-dum. Da-dum. Your son wore a size 16 shoe, so his socks could be a dress for one of your great-grandkids. Great-grands. Okay, what color did we decide the gloves were going to be? And by the way, on this first sock, that's a hole in the toe, if you were wondering why I didn't color that. Okie dokie smoky. Good night, Miss Pearl. Hey, Pearl, if you can hold on for 5 more minutes, you'll see the mystery of the gloves solved. Excuse me for reaching. Excuse me again. Oops, excuse me a third time. All right, one more time. There we go. Okay. I think everybody will like this. Poor Pearl. Every once in a while she tries to leave and I say, wait a minute, Pearl. Give me 5 minutes. Cousin was 7 foot. Pearl says I'll wait, can't miss a mystery action. Okay. I promise I'll be quick, Pearl. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. Okie dokie. I think you guys will like this, hopefully. So this is a 2-stepper. Okay, now don't go away, Pearl. I love you guys. You're the best. Oh, Pearl, that's okay. We're good. This is going to make sense in about 2 minutes, if that. It looks wonky right now, but we'll take care of that. La-da-dum. Oh, wait, there's more. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. La-da-da-da. La-da-da. All right, now I'm going to spread this thinner than what I would normally put on. Thinner. Thinner. And we just want to make sure that our glove shows through. And I'm going to put the bulk of the glitter towards the back of the hand, because that's where the shadow is. So there's a little trick for you there, is you can shade with glitter. Everybody see that? I'm pushing the bulk of it towards the back, towards the where the white poofy goes over it. Oh, glitter in the, okay, well, sit tight, Pearl. You've had some good ideas. Hey, Pearl, you've had some really good ideas about stuff. Okay, so again, I'm going to push the majority of my glitter where the shading is on the hand. And I have a thinner amount towards the fingers because we don't want to lose that distinction. Okay, I got to look at something here. Okay. I didn't want to go with red. I could have gone with black glitter. That would have looked cool too. Zoom out. Oh, how cool is that? Zoom out. Missed a little spot here. Amazing how missing something sticks out like a sore thumb. Ha ha ha, no pun intended. Pun intended. Oh, speaking of thumbs, zoom in. Yeah, Lila, I just saw it. Thumb, 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 thumb. Thank you. Zoom in. Zoom in. Okay, and again, I'm pulling the bulk of the glitter away from the digits because we want those digits to really show up. So I don't know if you've ever shaded with glitter before, but now you know how. Zoom out. Cool beans. How does that look, guys? Okay. Well, he's just a different authenticity. Okay. Now, per Pearl's suggestion, and see what you can do is you just take a toothpick and you can equalize your glitter if you need to. Okay, now per, oop, and my cap went where? I don't know. There we go. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put just a little bit of glitter in the beard. And I'm just going to make it so subtle here, you'll hardly notice it. Hopefully I'll keep my hand out of the green that I just put down. Okay, everybody see that? Zoom in. Zoom in. Yeah, actually I may lighten his face a little bit. So I'm just putting in just a little bit here. How cool is that? What do you think? Now, while I'm at it, Pearl, don't go away. One more little touch, Pearl. So I'm going to add a touch of blue, very light blue, to his puff. And remember, I extended that with pen. Just a little bit. But wait, there's more. Now, watch this. So everywhere that I put a little bit of blue on the white to make this cap look white, I'm going to go ahead and add a very thin streak of blue glitter. Oh man, look at that. I hope you can see this, especially if I keep it in camera range. Not going to put much, and I'm just putting it where I shaded in a little bit of the blue. So I put a little drop on there, and then I'm using the bottle to spread it out. All right. And again, guys, just a little bit of touches where I put a little bit of blue pencil, right? How cool does that look? All right, so a little bit on the bottom here. I'm using the pointer on the bottle to just spread it. Does this make sense? Pearl, what do you think? And I'm using, like I said, a very thin amount. How cool is that? Glitter glue by Bright Creations. There was like 20 some, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 26 colors. It's not the Ranger because the Ranger is just too expensive. Zoom out. There we go. Zoom out. How cool is that? So basically, anywhere that I colored a little bit of blue with my pencil, I'm just putting a very thin, I'm squeezing out a little drop and then smearing it with the bottle. There you go. Love it. Okay, Pearl, now you can leave. Oh, wait a minute, Pearl, one more thing. Zoom in. Zoom in. This is real quick. Zoom in. Zoom in. Okay, I can't let this go. Zoom out. Zoom out. There you go. Poor Pearl, she's fainting. Get out of here, Pearl. Go tonight. Go night. Go night night. I'm done. I'm done. The only thing I might do is just pop a little gold on the bell, but that's it. Good night, Pearl. Zoom in. Zoom in. Okay. There you go. I promise you I'm done. Go to bed. There you go. Little gold on the bell. Zoom out. Zoom out. All right, we're done. Poor Pearl. Thank you, Pearl's husband, for understanding. I had to give the putty tat a glitter. Oh man, calling this one done. Yeehaw. I love it. All right. So just to remind you, this is The Night Before Christmas by Charles Santore. And like I said, guys, I can promise you that I'm pretty sure he didn't think about coloring this. So that's why it is perfectly okay to go ahead and add your little doodahs and stuff. Now, I wouldn't add any more glitter anywhere else. I'm even going to leave his mustache alone. So I did it with the beard, but not the mustache. Just to give a little bit of that contrast. So what do you guys think of this? Do you like it? Questions, comments, critiques? I hope you learned something from it. This is what I want to know. Again, I added the brickwork here behind the fireplace. I added the continuation on this mantle. Wanda wanted me to add char to the log, which I did. I used metallics for the metal parts here. Added the fire. That wasn't here at all. And if you want to know how I did that, you just do a search, keywords, the night before Christmas. And that'll pull up everything that I've done on this on camera. So we've got just enough bling on Santa, I think. Oh. One more quick spot. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. Now, I did his buckles in metallic, but I think I'm going to go ahead and bling that up with a little glitter as well. Very thin amount. Yeah, there we go, much better. Oh, Okay, I'll fix the color between his boots. Thank you. That'll teach me to zoom in on something. Okay. Let's see here. Well, that's going to be tricky between his boots because part of it is going to be blue. Alright. So I'll hit that with a little blue. And then I'm going to do the rest of it with a little brown. Yeah, part blue, part brown, exactly. It's wonky. Let me get a slightly darker blue or else that's going to bug me. Sweat the details, guys. I'm proud of you. Zoom out. Zoom out. Is that better? That blue still, hold on. There we go. And I'm even angling the line a little bit to match the mantle there. We got it. Zoom out. Okay. Now, the only potential change I may make is I may go ahead and lighten his face a little bit. I'm not going to do that right now. That is a little dark, and I'll either go over it with white pencil or I'll just gently erase a little bit. Let's see. Everybody happy with that? Drawing, coloring. My eraser likes to disappear a lot too. Yeah, I'll fuss with that later. But I will make it lighter. Yeah, see, that's looking better already. Zoom in. Zoom in. Much better. Isn't that better, guys? You like that better? Yeah, mind the glitter. Yeah, I'm safe up here. Yeah, much, much better. And then I'll go ahead and just put a little pink back on the very bottom of the lip and a little bit in his cheek. Not much. Oh, tons better. Zoom out. There we go. Sorry about that. It was looking pretty wonky. Okay, we're good. I'll have to post this one. I love it. Let me shake that off. A jolly old elf. Yeah, I gotta fix a little glitter in his eye though. We gotta get that twinkle back. There we go. Twinkle is back. I think we're good, guys. I love it. All right, so everybody see how that came together? You don't have any questions? So we still have some time left. We have time. I hope you guys had as much fun with this as I have. Doo-doo. And I'll let that dry and we'll be good to go. All right, so let's get back to our chameleon. This is the Animals of the World by DK Publishing. And I started working on these leaves. This is our little guy here that goes together like this. And I worked up metallics here through here. And then I'll go with more standard coloring here with some metallics on the back of this chameleon. And then we need to do something dramatic with this eye. That'll look really cool. And actually, I think what would look really good on the eye let me entertain you. All right. Zoom in. Zoom in. So I'm going to go ahead and go with a black eye in here because that's what a lot of animals have. Now, a lot of people ask me how I figure out my colors. And so by doing this eye now, that's going to inspire me for the rest of it. I get comments, people say all the time, oh my gosh, where do I start? Where do I start? Zoom in. So I'm just using a simple black pen. You know I love my pens. And we want to get some drama with that eye. Zoom out. Isn't that cool? And I would even take it a step further. So let's look at this. I would even take it, yeah, the eyes are black. And I would even take it a step further. And on this outer ring, I'm going to go ahead and add this as well. Now, let me show you a little trick here. When you have black next to each other like this, we've got black elements. Zoom in. You want to go ahead and leave a teeny tiny bit of white in between your elements. Now, if you end up not doing that, no biggie. But it's going to give you a little bit of definition. On your individual pieces, on your individual parts. Everybody see that? And again, if you don't get that gap in there, no biggie. Thank you, Lila. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and yeah. You're talking about this ring right here? Excuse me. This ring? Okay. Light, medium, or dark brown? I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I'm thinking a nice medium brown. I'll tint it and then we'll figure it out. Now, don't fixate on leaving that little white space in between each of your little blocks here. Medium to light, okay. The part I'm doing now is black. Okay, hold on. Well, that turned out good. I want a dramatic eye. Zoom out. Look how cool that looks. Okay, so Lila tells me that, excuse me, that eye next to the black is a medium brown. Yeah, I understand that. About being different shades, sure. So this is where tinting becomes very important, because we know that we're going to do a brown, but we're not yet sure what the ultimate shade is going to be. But I want a placement color in there. All right, where'd my scratch pad go? There we go. I want a placement color in there for my inspiration for the rest of this little guy. So I'm going to go a very, very light brown until I ultimately figure out what I want to do with this. Nothing dramatic, just enough to do a placement color. Zoom out. Look at that. Zoom out. Zoom out. Yeah, the little spots around, yeah, around the area forms a cone up to the eyeball. Now, if you're inspired to continue with the eye, which I'm not at the moment because I want to look and see about this area here, I can see golds and greens, and I see it in chalks with some highlighting on there. We'll see. You know how when you add a little gold to an eye, how that really makes it pop? Okay. So I hope that gave you some ideas. All right. So now I see the situation where I've got some lines missing in the plants. This looks pretty bare to me. So I'm going to go ahead and draw in very lightly some of these lines. That actually may be the only one that was missing. That's cool. So now we've got something coming out here. I'm not sure what this is. We'll figure that out later. Same thing here, although that's probably another leaf. And this is where you want to start now, just doing some placement coloring. Zoom in. Now we've got a little splotch right here. Zoom in. It's probably a paper issue because I don't have anything underneath. And you can see a lot of the popcorn effect on this. So right there, that's screaming at me to blend it. And then this is where I'm going to be looking for similar leaves. And that way you'll have a really good balance here of how you're using your colors. Got to get that little teeny tiny spot. Zoom out. Now this is where we need to draw in again. Broken record, this is where you need to get comfortable with your pens. I've got my micro pen, which is my thinnest, 0.28. And I'm going to go ahead and draw in. A little bit of a stem. Zoom in. And I've got a little bit here where I'm going to put a stem. So what I would do is I would keep your pens handy to go ahead and draw it in when you run into this. And again, I think that this is a major, major indicator that the author doesn't understand coloring. Now for the moment, I'm not going to touch the stems because sometimes I like to change those colors from the leaf itself for dimension purposes. Talk much? No. Zoom out. Zoom out. So, is what I'm doing making sense, guys? So here's our overall piece. And I'm just going to pop over real quick because I see a couple of others here. Now again, if you disagree with what I'm doing, that's fine. Good night, Lila. I've got about 20 more minutes to go. Zoom in. Zoom in. Hey Maddie, did you see that announcement for Wanda that she needs an image of a pig? Could you draw a pig for her? A cute pig? I think the folk style that you do would be absolutely perfect. When do I get my birthday present? You remember what I'm talking about, right? Okay. So now I've got a little leaf tucked into here. Good night, Steph. Yeah, I only have about 20 more minutes, Stephanie, so... Zoom in. Okay, and again, I've got, it looks a little rough. Can you paint a pig? I don't know. I never thought of that. You got to ask Wanda. That would be even better. I think she'd love to get a painted piece from you. And like I said, this just doesn't have to be one that somebody submits. Lila can use several of them. I think that would be absolutely fantastic, Maddie. Okay, so now I'm going through and I'm getting rid of that popcorn look on my leaves. I mean, honestly, Maddie, as a minimum, when you paint it, you could then post it to the group anyway, just to show it. Because you've been showing your quilts and stuff. Oh my gosh, I love that African quilt you did. Ooh. Drop dead gorgeous. So how much do you charge for something like that? So I'm looking for a cutie picture that we can post for everybody to color, right? $125 including shipping. Wow. Cool. That's very reasonable. Okay, does everybody see? how smooth now and nice. I'm getting my base color for these leaves here. Again, that's why I said I wasn't worried about that popcorn effect. And I also want you to notice that even though I just put the color down very lightly, look how much darker it got. You got to watch that. And if something unexpected happens, that you get a darker color than what you want, go with the flow. Don't let it throw you. Maddie, I think that if you did a cute pig for Wanda, she would be absolutely thrilled. Now again, you know, she might not use it. I don't know. But regardless, I would want you to post it in the group. And Maddie, what I want you to do also is I want you to repost that African quilt that you did. And I'd like you to tell people it's for sale. And you put admin approved. So go ahead and do that. But be sure you put admin approved in that so that we don't get a ton of other people just putting stuff up without permission. Oh, it's been bought? Well, never mind. Congratulations. Yeah, that's cool too that you don't repeat designs. Zoom out. Zoom out. Okay, everybody see now how we're getting this here? My throat's getting sore. I wonder if I'm getting sick. Yeah, I'll do that to take care of my throat. I actually have a Keurig. I can do that. Zoom out. Okay, does everybody see now how this is starting to shape up? And when you get pieces now that start to make sense to you, As far as coloring, you won't have any problem completing it. Zoom out. Now I'm going to do one more leaf, which is this one. And I want to go with a fairly dark green. So bear with me while I pick one out here. Da, 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 da. Maddie, can you hear my music in the background? And those birds? Okay, slight change in plan. Zoom in. So I decided to go with a brighter green on this. Okay, good. So you can hear the birds. Yep. And again, I'm getting that popcorn effect, but that's okay. We know how to take care of that. And I want you to notice that I'm coloring in the shape of the leaf. I've always talked about that. It just makes it look really cool. Even though you're going to blend it, that's a good idea to just get into this habit. Now this is a brute funner. And you're going to get different responses from pencils on different papers. Zoom in. So don't let that throw you. That's just part of coloring. This is why some people like to stick with one brand of pencil, because they know how it's going to act. But on the other hand, this paper is very, very slick. Slick, excuse me. And I'd also noticed the paper of the Millie Marotta has been slick as well. Okay. Zoom out. So let me go ahead and blend this and show you how that's going to look. And I am not scrubbing the paper, and I'm blending in little circles. And if you have a pencil that leaves a little bit of darker shade in some areas, like this is happening right here, don't worry about that. Work with it. Now, in doing this large area like this is also telling me how, well, I knew the paper was slick to start with. So once you have an idea what your paper is going to do, you can compensate for it. But like I said, if something happens that you get a little hiccup, don't worry about it. Especially when you're coloring things like this with your nature, because you're going to have different shades as it is. And again, watch that your ink, when you're blending, doesn't go away, which has happened on some things. But I had a drawing where I was, I had that happen, and I incorporated it right into the picture. Okay, I like to keep my edges tidy. Tidy, tidy-whitey. All right, and now I'm going to come in with a darker green. And start shading those anomalies. An anomaly is something means it's different than the norm. So when you do art, guys, you're doing a constant you're adapting all the time. And the thing is, I work out of so many books that until you get a feel for what their paper's going to do, I didn't copy this because this was a bigger piece. Hold on, I got to take a sip. And right now I'm going to take advantage of that streaking that I got when I did the initial blend. So I'm doing a combination of darkening my lines nothing's really special, Stephanie. I assume you meant for Easter. I really don't have any family to speak of, so I amuse myself. Okay, now everybody see how I'm starting to play now with the shades of this leaf with my darker pencil. And yes, I will be on air tomorrow, per normal. Now, when you're doing your edges like this in the darker green, yeah, I mean, you're welcome to say hi, but I can't guarantee that I can answer because I use Messenger for talking to artists and so forth. Okay, everybody see now how this leaf? Good night, Miss Stephanie. I'm going to go off momentarily as well. I just wanted to finish this leaf. Now, what I want you to notice too, zoom in, zoom in. What I want you to notice as well is I've got this dark green right here, and I'm pulling out a little bit in streaks right here. And that's going to give it some really good, what I call personality. Anybody have any questions about what I'm doing with this leaf? Zoom out. Zoom out. All right. So let me show you the full piece now, side by side, as I'm building this for you. I think this is going to be a really spectacular piece. And I think you're going to really enjoy it when it's done. Okay, guys, I'm going to call it an evening. I think we're in really good shape. I think we're getting some good drama on this thing. We got our Night Before Christmas done. I think that looks really cool. I think we got a good do on this one. And I think that this one is coming up beautifully as well. Anybody have any questions or comments before I go? All right, guys. Oh, Maddie, I'm glad you loved it. All right, guys. This is ILene Vick for Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. Guys, joyous, joyous coloring. We're having fun with this little guy now. And I hope that you see the ideas here of the shading. So have a good evening. Blessings to you all that celebrate Easter. And thank you so much for attending. All right, guys. Till tomorrow night then. You take care. Bye.